शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। परित्यज्य मौनं वटादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशं मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गेण यन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्भाति चित्ते। नमामि शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्रसरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गारुणेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. So in our Bhagavad Gita class, Krishna is talking about the different aspects of Atma. And in the last session, we saw the shlokas that told that Atma is not a product of Panchabhutas. Whatever that we see surrounding us, it is a product, it is a combination of Panchabhutas. Vedas say, Tasmad Atmana Akashas Sambhutaha Akashad Vayuhu Vayoragnihi Agneraapaha Adhyah Prithvi Prithivya Oshadayaha. From Atma came Akasha, Akashad Vayuhu. From Akasha came Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi. From Vayu came Agnihi, Agneraapaha. From Agni came water, Adhyah Prithvi. From water came earth. Basically, it talks about the evolution of materials, evolution of matter, and we go from subtle to gross. This process is called as Panchikaranam. This process is called as Panchikaranam. We will see this process little bit briefly and then we will continue with the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. So this is the Srishti Krama that we all have to know. Right? So first is Atma. Atma is our own self. Right? From Atma came Vayu, and we have to take this verb came with a pinch of salt. Right? Why with a pinch of salt? We will see later. For now, we can see this verb came as literally coming. So, the element of Akasha evolved from Atma. What is Akasha? Akasha is space. Akasha is space. Even now, Big Bang Theory says that space is not a given entity. Newtonian physics assumed both space and time were a given entity. There is no starting point for space. There is no ending point for space. There is no beginning for space. There is no end for space. That was the assumption of Newtonian physics. But our Shastra has been telling, no, space has got a beginning, space has got an end. And then there are more to the Srishti which does not come under the realm of space and time. The unification of space and time happened. The unification of space and time is already there. But the mathematical framework for the unification of space and time, the conceptual unification of space and time happened only after Einstein in modern physics. But our Shastras have unified space and time from beginning. Desha Kala Parichinna. The Nama Lalita Sahasranama says, Desha Kala Aparichinnaye Namaha. Ambal is not limited by space and time. Even the order Shastra has told, first comes Desha, then comes Kala. Desha means space, Kala means time. So when Shastra says Atmana Akashas Sambhutaha, we have to bring in time as well. So Desha, Kala, Akasha came from Atma. And Akasha is the subtlest of the subtle things that we all know. Akasha is the subtlest of the subtle things that we all know. Because we cannot see Akasha. We cannot perceive Akasha. We all assume that Akasha is there because we exist. We all exist in Akasha. We exist, so Akasha exists. That is the thing that we can infer about Akasha. We cannot see space as a matter. People have tried a lot in putting space and time into equation. They are still developing that because it is very, very subtle. And then Akashad Vayuhu. And Shastra says, the element of Shabda is associated with Akasha. We have Pancha Bhutas, we have Pancha Indriyas, organs of knowledge, and then we have Vishaya for Panchendriyas, objects of knowledge. And Shastra will see the evolution of matter and the evolution of objects of knowledge along with each other. So space is associated with Shabda, sound. You take an empty conch, put in your ear, it is empty, but you still can hear the sound. So space is associated with sound. Akashad Vayuhu. From Akasha came Vayu. Vayu means what? Air, gas. Even according to physics, they say, space came and then electron, proton, neutron came. They all combined to form hydrogen gas. First formed entity, nucleosome synthesis. When we see the evolution of elements according to Big Bang theory, they say nucleosome synthesis and then evolution of hydrogen, helium gases. Akashat Vayuhu. What is the object associated with Vayu? And here Shastra will say, hey, Akasha will have the element of Shabda. Vayu is going to have the element of both Shabda and Sparsha. Nalla kaatadichudhu appadina we can feel it through our skin. Nalla jillunu kaatadikirudhu. I can feel air with my skin. I can also hear air. Right. So the element of Vayu is associated with both Shabda and Sparsha. You can imagine, you can understand this concept like this. There is a father. The father is going to amass a lot of wealth. He has got a son. When a son is born to the father, the son will inherit the properties of father, plus the son will also make his own money. The element of Shabda is inherited from the father of Vayu. Who is the father of Vayu? Akasha. And then the element of Vayu will have its own property, which is Sparsha. So Shabda, Sparsha. Akashad, Vayu. And then what? Vayoragnihi. And then comes fire. For fire, you need gas. Without gas, there cannot be any fire. Without oxygen, there will not be any fire. So first Akashad, Akashad Vayuhu, Vayu means gas, and then Vayoragnihi. And then here, Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Fire, we can hear when something is burning. We can feel when something is burning. We can also see when something is burning. We cannot see gases, but we can see fire. So, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Akasha, Vayuhu, Agnihi. Right? Akasha, Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi. And then what? Agne Rapaha. From Agni comes water. Now we have a state of plasma. What is fire? Fire is the state of plasma. Things are getting grossified as well. In the due course of evolution, things are getting grossified as well. So we are getting water. Water is liquid. You have gas, you have plasma, and then you have got water. And Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, not only water we can hear when water is there, we can touch the water, we can see the water, we can also smell the water. So when there is rain, you can nicely smell that water. If water has got bad, you can smell the water, right? So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Sorry, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Rasa means taste. You can taste the water. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Akashad Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi, Agner Apaha. And then what? Adhyas Prithvi. From water, it gets grossified. It gets grossified to element of earth. From Akashad Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi, Agner Apaha, Adhyaha Prithvi. From water, water is liquid in state, it gets even more grossified and then it gets to earth, which is solid. And then here we got Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Earth will have Gandha. When water touches the earth, you will have the smell. Right? So this is called as the evolution of Panchabhutas. And here, what happens is that when evolution of Panchabhutas happens, it is called as Sukshma Panchabhutas. They all are subtle Panchabhutas. And Bhagavan does something called as Panchikaranam in order to grossify the subtle Panchabhutas. Bhagavan does something called as Panchikaranam, in order to grossify the subtle Panchabhutas into Sthula Panchabhutas. And what is Panchikaranam? I will tell very briefly. It might be confusing. If you don't understand it, that is okay. Bhagavan will take, okay. So whatever the Panchabhutas that we see surrounding us, it is going to be a mix of all the Sukshma Panchabhutas. A gross space will have all the 5 subtle elements. The gross space that we perceive will have all the 5 subtle elements, but in different ratio. It will have all the 5 subtle elements, but in different ratio. What is the ratio now? 50% subtle space. Gross space is equal to 50% subtle space, 12.5% Vayu, 12.5% Agnihi, 12.5% Apaha, 12.5% Prithvi. All subtle. 100% is there. For subtle 100% space, you will have 50% of Sukshma Akasha, 12.5% of Sukshma Vayu, 12.5% of Sukshma Agnihi, 12.5% of Sukshma Water, and 12.5% of Sukshma Prithvi. Again, if you want to have 100% of Sthula Vayu, then it is going to have 50% of Sukshma Vayu and the 12.5% each of rest. This process is called as Panchikaranam. No, this has been here since time immemorial. Manikavasahar has sung that in his poetry Tiruvagaval. Manikavasagar has sung this in his poetry Tiruvagaval, the evolution of matter. You know what is the evolution of matter? Akashad Vayuhu, Vayur Agnihi, Agneraapaha, Adhyaf Prithvi. And Akasha will have one Shabda. Vayu will have 2 qualities, Shabda Sparsha. Agni will have 3 qualities, Sabda Sparsha Rupa. Apaha will have 4 qualities, Sabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa. And Prithvi will have 5 qualities, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Right? Manikavasagar sings, Parinai Aindai Parandai Potri. And here you have to remember, everything is come from Atma. Everything has come from Atma. And just like how we gave the example of son inheriting things from father, because Akashat Vayu has got its own thing, plus it also has got inheritance from his father, who is the father of Vayu, Akasha. In the same way, Akasha has its own thing. What is the thing of Akasha? Shabda is the object of Akasha, but it also has to inherit something from its father. Who's the father of Akasha? Atma. Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha. And what is it that Akasha is inheriting from its father? Satta. Existence. Akasha inherits its existence from Atma. If Atma is not there, nothing that we are seeing will be there. So everything has Everything is inheriting their existence in Atma. So Atma is present in everything. அதனால்தான் மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாடுறார், பாரிடை ஐந்தாய் பரந்தாய் போற்றி. பார் என்னது? எர்த், பிருத்திவி. And earth is the grossest of the Panchabhutas. And we saw earth has got how many properties? 5 properties. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Right? அதனாலதான் மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாடுறார், பாரிடை ஐந்தாய் பரந்தாய். And par has got its existence because of Atma. Here Manika Vasagan is telling Atma to be Parameshwara. And he says, hey Parameshwara, potri to you who is existing in the par, in the element earth as 5 things. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. He is going from gross to subtle. So before par, what will they be there? Neer, water. Neeridai nangai tigandai potri. Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. These 4 things will be there in water. Shabda, sound. Sparsha, sense of feeling. Rupa, you can see the water. Rasa, you can taste the water. And all the things derive their existence from what? From Atma, which is Parameshwara. That is why Manika Vasagar says, Neeridai nangai tigandai potri. And then a little bit more subtle than water is what? Fire. Fire has got how many properties? 3 properties. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. தீயிடை மூன்றாய் திகழ்ந்தாய் போற்றி. So fire has got 3 properties and it owes its existence to Atma, which is Parameshwara. தீயிடை மூன்றாய் திகழ்ந்தாய் போற்றி. And then even more subtle than fire is what? Gas, air. How many qualities it has got? 2 qualities, Shabda and Sparsha. வழியிடை இரண்டாய் மகிழ்ந்தாய் போற்றி. வழினா காற்றுன்னு அர்த்தம். வழியிடை இரண்டாய் மகிழ்ந்தாய் போற்றி. And then space, the sukshmam, the most sukshmamest of the entities that we can perceive, that is space. And how many qualities space has got? Only 1 quality, Shabda. வெளியிடை ஒன்றாய் விளைந்தாய் போற்றி. வெளினா ஸ்பேஸ், வெட்ட வெளி அப்படிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, ஸ்பேஸ். And வெளி has got how many properties? 1 property. Akasha has got Shabda. And everything is Parameshwara. Everything is Atma. What is Atma now? Atma does not come under the spell of these 5 Panchabhutas. In fact, these 5 Panchabhutas owe their existence to Atma. You have to remember the inheritance. The son will inherit things from his father. Akasha is the most subtle. Akasha is the first generation from Atma. What does Akasha inherit from the father, which is Atma? Existence. Akasha inherits existence from the father. Akashat Vayuhu. Vayu will inherit both existence and Shabda from the father. Existence is not being counted as object of knowledge. That is why they say Paridai Aindai Parandai. They don't count existence because they take existence for granted. So, what is the take home message that we have learnt? All the five Panchabhutas, they have come from Atma, and that is why Atma cannot be disturbed by the five Panchabhutas. Son killing the father, இதெல்லாம் only humans தான் possible, animals தான் possible. It will not be possible in Panchabhutas. Right? If Atma is not there, then all the Panchabhutas cannot exist. Because all the Panchabhutas, they derive their existence. They derive their very existence from Atma. The verb be. The verb be, be. Water is there. Fire is there. Space is there. That is to be is taken from Atma. If Atma is not there, then the verb to be, Bhu Dhatu, will not exist. Which means that all these five Panchabhutas cannot disturb the Atma. That is the reason we have seen, the Shloka number 23 and 24. We are still in Shloka number 23 and 24. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapaha, na shoshayati marutaha, achedyoyamadahyoyam, akledyo soshyayevacha, nityaha, sarvagataha, sthanuhu, achalaha, ayam atma sanatanaha. Shloka number 23 says, okay, Atma cannot be destroyed by any weapons. Atma cannot be burnt by any fire. Atma cannot be made wet by any water. Atma cannot be dried off by any air. Atma cannot be killed. Atma cannot be dried off. Atma cannot be wetted. Atma is nityaha. Atma is ever existence. Atma is sarvagataha. Where do you find Atma? Wherever there is existence, in all these places Atma will be there. Because we have defined Atma as that which gives existence to the five Panchabhutas. Space is there. So Atma has to be there. Because why? We are using the verb is, to be, Bhudatu. When we say space is there, Atma has already there. In fact, Atma does not exist in space. Space exists within the Atma. Space owes its existence within the Atma. That is why Atma is called as Sarvagataha. Present everywhere, omnipresent. Sthanuhu. Sthanuhu means a pillar is called as Sthanuhu. A pillar is called as Sthanuhu. Why? Because it cannot be moved. Try moving a pillar in a house. You cannot move a pillar. If pillar is moved, the entire house will be collapsed. A pillar is the support structure which supports the entire building. In the same way, Sthanuhu is the pillar. Atma is the pillar which supports the entire creation. And Sthanuhu, pillar, cannot be moved. Atma is the pillar that supports the entire creation. Atma is the pillar which supports the entire Srishti. And Atma cannot be moved. Why not? For Atma to move from one place to another, in the other place, it should be devoid of Atma. I take my Panchapatram from a point A. I move my Panchapatram to a point B. How can I move my Panchapatram to a point B? If that point B is empty, if my point B is not empty, I cannot move my Panchapatram to the point B. In the same way, for Atma to go from a point A to point B, that point B should not have had Atma before. Only then the process of movement is possible. We have told Atma is Sarvagataha. Atma is everywhere. Then how can Atma move? Sthanu. That is why the first shloka of Saundarya Lahari. Shiva Shaktya Yuktaha Yadi Bhavati Shaktah Prabhavitum Nachedevam Devaha Nakalu Kushalaha Spanditumapi. Without Ambal, without Maya, Shiva the Atma cannot even move a blade of grass. Why not? In order to move a blade of grass, you need to have Parameshwara, you need to have a grass, you need to have two spaces. Where the space where grass is already existing, the space where grass has to be moved. But all these Vyavahara, Shiva, grass, space, all these things will be there only when Maya is there. Without Maya, there is no Shiva, no grass, no space, only Atma that exists. That is why even Shiva is called as Sthanuhu. Sarva Sharva Shiva Sthanuhu Bhutadir Nidiravyaya. It comes in Vishnu Sahasranama, Shiva Sthanuhu. Even in Shiva Sahasranama, Shiva Sthanuhu, the second Nama or the third Nama in Shiva Sahasranama is Sthanuhu. Adhaladam Kachi Yegambanenu padra. In Kanchipuram, Kampaha, Kambam, Toon, Yegambam, Toon Madri Valakat Tang in Prakaran Kanchipuratla Yegambranathar. அதனால்தான் ஏகம்பனேன்னு பாடுறேன். In actuality it is ஏகாம்பரநாதா, but ஏகம்பனே, ஏகம்பனே, கம்பம், தூண் அப்படிங்கிறது இந்த இடத்துல சரியாக வரும். ஸ்தானுஹு அச்சலஹா, devoid of movement, sanatanaha. It is the oldest of the old thing. Because time itself is born out of Atma along with space. If time itself is a new entity, what can you tell about the precursor of time? You cannot tell anything. That is why the word Sanatana is there. If you go and ask a scientist, what existed before Big Bang? What existed before Big Bang? A scientist will tell no answer. Because the concept of time itself originated from Big Bang. Where did Big Bang happen? A scientist will not tell you any answer. Why? Because the concept of space itself existed, came to existence after Big Bang. So, the concept of where, when and all will not be relevant before Big Bang. There is no relevance of time. There is no relevance of space before Srishti. So whatever science is telling now, we have thought about that before. So it is Sanatanaha, Puratanaha. You cannot attach space and time to Atma. Desha Kala Aparichinnaye Namaha. Lokadita, Gunatita, Sarvatita, Shamatmika, Kalatita, Lokatita, Kala Atita, beyond the realm of time. Lokatita, beyond the realm of space. All these nama comes in Lalita Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama, etc. Because they all glorify Atma, which is Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, Nachainam Kledayantyapaha, Nashoshayati Marutaha, Achedyoyam, Adahyoyam, Akledyaha, Asosyaha, Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sthanuhu, Achalaha, Sanatanaha. With this, we will finish today's session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. In fact, today we did not see any new shloka of Bhagavad Gita. We have seen the evolution of elements. Srishti Kramaha, we have seen. This is an important concept which we all have to know in order to understand Atma. If we understand this, it actually gives us a new dimension for understanding our own self. So that is why we have taken a little bit detour. In the next class, we will see the other shlokas. Avyaktoyam, Achintyoyam, Avikaryoyam, Uchyate, Tasmadevam Viditvainam, Nanushochitam Arhasi. Atachainam. So here Krishna is also taking a U-turn from the next shloka, which we will see in the next class. Om Shri Guru Namaha.